It's that time of year again to rank the Rangers signings. Welcome back to the channel, 2024-25. Now, we actually did this exact tier list back in February, where I ranked it at, I think it was transfer deadline day. Now, of course, we only made one signing. I believe I said something along the lines of, we'll have to wait and see what happens to Rafael Fernandez in the coming months before I can fully rate the guy. Well, it's safe to say, aye, nothing happened. He played one game, I think it was 60 odd minutes against Queen's Park, and then two appearances off the bench before that. Crap. Right, there's nothing really else to say about him. But of course, 3 months have passed since early February. Hell, 4 months really, if you think of it. But obviously, the season did end like 10 days, 2 weeks ago, whatever. So, right, we've got every Rangers 24-25 summer signing. Who's going to go up and down since February? Well, let's get into it. But before we get into it, we didn't win any trophies. It was pretty much one of the worst seasons we can remember. I mean, that doesn't change an individual season, but I feel like it will hold certain people back, and it realistically should, you know what I mean? And let's see if it was money well spent in here. So first up, we've got Mohamed Diamonde, of course, signed on loan in January 24. Made it permanently from Midland, wasn't it? In the summer, 3.5 million, 4 million, something in that ballpark. You know what? I'm going to give him decent because see when the guy's on it, he's great. Hell, he's fantastic. But there's games he goes missing, which drops him to bad or shite. But like I said, on the flip side, you get some great or fantastic. So I feel like straight bang in the middle's a good price. He can definitely be a part of a Rangers' future. Just needs to get it more consistently. And, you know, it's the same with his midfield partner Raskin. I mean, we all knew Raskin on his day could be great, but on his bad days he could be shite. But it's all about, you know, making it 9 out of 10 great, 1 out of 10 shite, instead of like, you know, 4, 6 out of 10. That's not ideal. Right, moving on to Barami. This is shite. This guy looks like he's moving on for 2.1 million back to Sassuolo, back to Serie A. I don't know if they're promoted or not. Honestly, don't care. This guy came in, did not apply himself, wrong work ethic, just could not be arsed. It was like he almost, it's like he never wanted to be here for square one. Now, there was some big goals this guy scored in cup finals, in semi-finals. He did score that goal against Malmo in the Europa League, which was a decent goal, you know what I mean? Even though anyone could have scored it, he got us on our way to a win there. But apart from like a promising first 2 months where here he's not scored a lot, but he has scored some big goals. And yeah, we did lose the cup final. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that was great. You know, he scored a goal in the game we lost. But it's crazy to think this guy was actually so much better in the first half of this season, where I'd still label him bad. So for me, it's shite every day of the week. I'm not spinning it. Just absolute garbage, man. We're siding this guy in, an international. Oh, he scores great goals. He does this, he does that. Nowhere near enough assists, nowhere near enough goals. And Barami, it seriously makes you question why we get rid of Hadji, but Hadji's no on this list because we didn't sign him this season or last season. We're still in that limbo period. It's weird getting to call it last in this, but anyway, moving on. Robin Proper. Is he worse than Barami? Oh, yeah. Honestly, man, I'm kind of speechless about how I don't have the words to actually describe Robin Proper in terms of like, you know, comparing him to Barami. Barami's useless. There's games he would just go missing and not do anything. With Robin Proper, he'd never go missing because it would be filled with mistakes. Now, there was the odd good bit of defending from Robin Proper, but by God, I'd expect my centre back that started a lot of games to have some decent moments. But there was way more shite than good, and that's why he has to land in there. Just, I look at that shite category, and I can't help but feel there's like 7, 8 million there worth of shite, and that we're going to struggle, severely struggle, to make any money back. It's that simple, man. Just howler after howler. Didn't matter, who was partnered next to him, whether it was Suter, Balogun, Ninsala, King, if he was even partnered next to him. Who's the other guy? Ufeco, guy doesn't matter, man. You know what I mean? This guy's just brutal. Moving on, Hamza Gamani. I'm going to put Gamani in great. I mean, obviously signed for 2 million, bit of an unknown. It's not quite fantastic for me. Yeah, can he turn it to be fantastic? Absolutely. This guy's got a big future ahead of him, whether it's us or somebody else. But too inconsistent, and as much as we can bash Barry and Clement and you're playing Dessers over him, you're doing this, you're playing him out of position, I would still expect a guy who's getting played out of position to still step up to task and maybe score more goals than what he did. That being said, he's a young lad. He is 22. Some people are like, oh, there's other players. But again, this guy came from the Moroccan league. This isn't a 22-year-old who's been playing top flight football for 5 years. This guy came from the Moroccan league straight into our team. He theoretically is actually like a few years behind people in terms of development, but some people lack an IQ to fucking understand that. But anyway, I digress. This guy was great in parts, bad in other games where he would lose the ball quite a lot without actually doing anything. But by God, when he delivered and when he had a good game, it was fantastic. When you look at the Hibs game, if he scores last kick of the game to win 4-3. Fuck man, what a game. That's one of the all-time, I'll say all-time, man, I'm not going to say all-time great performances, but in recent memory, that is like one of the greatest things we've seen in Scottish football. I mean, he scored a hat-trick, man, one with each foot and then a header. If he makes it 4-3, I've never seen a performance where one guy single-handedly drags a team through a game, but sadly he didn't score it. The goal against Tottenham, fantastic. The goal against Ross County, ice cold. The goal against Aberdeen recently, unreal. Just great goals galore for Igamani. And I would like to see the guy get played through the middle and therefore be able to judge him properly. But yeah, what an option to have. Exciting times ahead if you're a fan of Igamani. And worst comes to worst, we'll make a bit of money if we sell him. Moving on, we've got Tierney. For me, the best signing that we made this season. It's not fantastic though. He did average a goal contribution pretty much every 2 games. But again, he went missing. And it's a guy that never got played out of position. It's not like, we played him as like a false 9 and that didn't suit him, but we had to play it. This guy played in possession pretty much every week, right? But still went missing. A lot of big games he went missing and a lot of other games he went missing. And here, when this guy played and played well, it made us tick. In a season we were shite, but I can't sit here and say it was fantastic. Our standards are too high, but I can give him great, and I think he truly is the best player that we signed in the 24-25 season. You can say I've spoiled the rest of the list. Well, maybe I have. Anyway, moving on, right. Jeffy. I'm going to put Jeffy in front of Diamonde. This is a guy similar to Gamani where he hasn't had a wee bit more first team football, but this is a young guy, like 20 years old, coming in, pretty much starting every game. Defensively, there needs to be work. I'm not going to sit here and deny that, but again, he suits probably a 5 at the back, and maybe he suits playing left wing, left mid, but we never got to see it, and I'd like to have seen a wee bit of experimenting with that, but we never got it. But again, I rate Yefty, there's a future. Is it at left back? Maybe not. But utilise him at left wing back? Aye. And potentially further forward. I'd like to see that. Up next we've got Connor Barron. Signed on a free from Aberdeen. Is it unfair to put Connor Barron in bad? You know what? We'll put him bottom of decent, right? This guy honestly felt like the star performer in the first couple of months. Maybe because the standards were that low. Few great games, right? Cuts out the passing lanes well. But see this guy going forward, man. He's horrific. But when he's good, he's good. And I do feel like if he's used correctly, he can be an asset to this team. But too many games he was getting used incorrectly. But again, is that on him? Is that on the manager? Like I said, Regamani, it's like, yeah, you're getting played out of position, but I'd still like to see a wee bit from you. But at the end of the day, you are getting played out of position, so bottom of decent. Right, up next we got Liam Kelly. Came in as a number 2 to Butland. Played way more games than he probably expected to play. Only really made one mistake, and it was the Rocky Bashuri goal against Hibs. Maybe the free kick against Aberdeen he let in a wee bit easy. But, you know what? Didn't have the greatest impact for us, right, across the season. But I'm going to put him top of decent. It's not great, but it's certainly not bad. I mean, what do we expect from a number 2 goalie, man? I think he came in, he did no bad. Right, up next with Clinton and Salah. Came in, didn't make a lot of appearances. Clermont then seemed to have went with him, looked like it was going well. But then that game against Dundee were proper. I feel like it was downhill since then. And then the final nail in the coffin was the game against Kelly. But again, I'm going to be fair, man. I don't think it's a bad season. He definitely did better. He did more good than bad. But he kind of got hung out to dry when there's way more experienced players. They should have been getting hung out to dry, man. Do not understand it in the slightest. Moving on to Kaz and Weirjo. You know what? I think this guy's massively overrated. He was shite for the first couple of months, then put like a run of 3 games together, and then he was injured. I'm going to put him bad. Now, were players worse than him in games? Absolutely. But we signed this guy on a season-long loan, and he's been out since like November. That's bad. That's a bad signing, man. He get injured. No, it's not his fault, and I do believe he's better than some players above him, but wasting money in the end. And I can't believe there's so many people advocating to re-sign him for what you know what I mean. The odd decent performance, and then Rafael Fernandez. I'll put him top of shite because you know what? He was a loan, didn't cost hee-haw, played like 3 games. I mean, honestly, he didn't really put a foot wrong. I don't recall the guy coming on in those 3 games or starting them like, oh, he was horrific. But yeah, didn't cost us money, but an awful signing to the point it's like, it was pointless. So it goes in shite. And that is every player ranked. And I think that's bang on the money. And if you want to do this tier list for yourself, I will put it in the comment, the description. But leave your comments down below. Do you agree with it? For me, no one's fantastic. Too many inconsistencies for guys in great to put them in fantastic, and also our season was that bad. Was anyone truly fantastic? Probably not. So anyway, till next time. Peace.